News Channel 20 Midday.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on this midday show. I'm AJ Gersh. Before we get to our top headlines, we got our Storm Team meteorologist Nick Patrick with us in the Weather Center here on this hot Wednesday, Nick.
A little hot.
Just getting hotter this week, huh?
Ooh, man, it is heating up, AJ. I think the headline today is the heat because, my goodness, has it warmed up across central Illinois. We knew it was coming. I've been lucky enough to hunker down inside. You could see it already, those 90s across central Illinois. We're one of the cooler spots here in Springfield at 91. Yeah, that's hot. We'll be in those 90s basically all day. 102 Effingham, 100 Terre Haute there. To our south, it is brutally hot. Look at some of these temperatures here. Basically, this heat wave, if you're up in the Quad Cities or heading north this afternoon, you're going to be in so much better shape. Right now, we have that warm air piling in. Just about 100 degrees there for St. Louis, a little over that in Carbondale. Heat advisory stretching just at the edge of central Illinois all the way south, and then heat warnings picking up after that. So, yeah, it's going to be a hot couple of days. Tomorrow may be a little better, but Saturday, even worse. We're talking about how hot it's going to get. Just coming up.
Nick, you said it. To the heat emergencies affecting hundreds of millions of people here at home and abroad. Parts of Texas and Oklahoma see a high temperature of 113 degrees. As Christy Aletto reports, some calling it the heat apocalypse.
This morning, 124 million Americans are under heat alert, facing temperatures that will climb well into the triple digits in many areas.
Pretty hot. Yeah, it's hot.
Records show average temperatures in 96% of the U.S. have increased this summer, and today more records are expected to be broken in Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas. Paramedics are responding to twice as many heat-related calls as normal near Fort Worth, which hit 109 yesterday.
Most of them think, oh, I'm young, I'm healthy, I can handle it. Not this kind of heat.
The conditions turning deadly for a police officer outside New Orleans who died on duty from what's described as a heat-related illness. Overseas, London, where the high temperature this time of year is usually 75, hit 104 degrees, smashing the record. Several buildings destroyed as hot and dry conditions fueled wildfires. And that heat is now headed for mainland Europe, where more than 1,500 heat-related deaths have been reported. Now it's the Northeast turn. Heat advisories are in effect today for Boston, Philadelphia, and New York, where power companies are preparing for peak usage.
Almost 10 years ago, we had Sandy hit this area. We knew then that we had to invest and to plan for a system, a grid that needs to withstand higher temperatures and rising sea levels.
President Biden will be in Massachusetts today, where he's expected to announce executive actions on climate change related to offshore wind. He's reportedly considering declaring a national emergency, which would free up more funding to tackle the issue. Christy Aletto, ABC News, New York.
Thank you, Christy. Now to a Capital City Watch. As Springfield is officially a new ward map after Tuesday night's City Council meeting. Aldermen passed the measure to redraw the ward maps after seeing 3 different renditions. But the passage didn't come without controversy. Some aldermen say they shouldn't be involved in drawing the maps at all.
I hate to see this council kind of moving in the direction where the aldermen get so involved in it, because now 10 years from now they'll say, hey, this is the way we did it last time. This is the way we did it last time. So that's the reason I'm going to vote no.
Other aldermen made the point that the reason they were so involved in the drawing was because of constituents reaching out and expressing their concerns. The boundaries will take effect for the next city election, which is April of 2023. Some Illinois schools. Data released this month by the National Center for Education Statistics says 84% of public schools surveyed agree that student behavior was impacted by the pandemic. Macomb Superintendent Patrick Twomey says when it comes to criminal behavior in school, some kids just haven't been able to deal with the schedule disruptions properly.
Take them out of that system for 2 years, and then you plunk them back in 2 years later, and all of a sudden they're back with people and peers, and there's issues.
Macomb is adding a second SRO in its schools after a rise in criminal activity among juveniles. And Tuesday night, friends and family of the Central A&M students involved in a deadly crash gathering together. The school holding a candlelight vigil in honor of Connor Rowcliffe and Keegan Verdon, who were both killed in the crash, as well as praying for the continued recovery of Kingsley Heineman and Damian Smith. The 4 teens were in a car together at the time of the crash near Assumption last Tuesday. Springfield using new technology to help find suspects in a shooting. Police were called to the hospital after reports of a victim who had been shot. Officers later learned the shooting happened near 11th and Ash Streets. The city's automated license plate readers were used to identify a suspect vehicle, leading to the arrest of 18-year-old Carice Warrios and a 17-year-old juvenile. And an elderly Springfield man will spend the next 7 years behind bars. Donald Doroshev was convicted in March of 2 counts of receiving and 1 count of possessing child pornography. The 75-year-old was arrested in 2016, and during a search, the FBI says they found more than 2,000 child pornography images and 28 child pornography videos on his computer. And coming up next on News Channel 20 Midday, a step towards marriage equality. House lawmakers vote to codify same-sex marriage. What has to happen, though, before it could become law? Plus, millions of dollars up for grabs in the Mega Millions jackpot. It's just getting higher, Nick.
Higher and higher like this heat, AJ. You set me up for that one here. It is hot, it is sunny, and boy, is it going to be dangerously hot for the next couple of days. It's only getting worse for the weekend. We're going to talk about what finally brings in some relief